welcome to a Farming Simulator 19 Guide 2 with me, MrSealyp. The WARZEE DE250SSL, the DE551FL and the DE551TL. That's what I'm going to be looking at in this Guide 2. I've had a few people ask me to do a Guide 2 on this. I've had a few people comment to say they're having issues with it, can't get them to work, and there's a few problems. Again, as I've been doing with a lot of my Guide 2s recently, there is obviously the bug fix is ongoing and the update for console hasn't gone live yet. Giants have said they're hoping it will be done and out before Christmas. So if you're watching this video after Christmas, a couple of the glitches or issues that these have, or may have, it depends whether I encounter them or not, may not be relevant once the patch goes live. It will all depend when you're watching this video. So anyway, let's get into this. I have mentioned these on my cows video, my guide to cows, but I thought I would do one more specifically on the 3 individual bale shredders, which is what they are essentially. For your animals now that require bedding, you can put straw in loose. If you've done a harvest and you've got straw swathed on the floor, you can collect it in whatever mean you want to collect it with, and you can unload with a trailer, a loading wagon, whatever, into that area. What you cannot do anymore on Farming Simulator 19 is put bales directly in. It won't take bales, how they used to refer to it, over the rail on FS17. Used to just be able to put a bale close to the straw area and it would take the bale away. It won't do that anymore, but you can do it loose, or you can do it with a bale shredder like these. There are 3 available, and there's a reason why there are 3 available. That might be one area where people are having a few issues. So if we look in store, we go to the machinery section, not the vehicle section, under animals, and we scroll across. We've got the 3 WARZEE bale shredders. Now there is also the Kuhn Primor 15070, which will also shred bales, but I'm focusing on the WARZEE ones for this Guide 2. Now, the first one, the DE250SSL, when you look down below in the information box, it says there's a little jigsaw piece, and that tells you the things that you can that will attach to it, that should attach to it. Sometimes in game you can get away with other bits and bobs. On FS17 there were lots of bits of machinery that I don't think were intended to hook together, but did. But this tells you what it should hook up to. Now that says L218 and C232. Those are the skid steer loaders. So if we scroll across now to here and we go to skid steer loaders, the 2 that we've got in game at the moment are the L218 and the C232. We may get more further down the line, but at the moment those are the 2 that are in game, and those are what that first one hooks up to. So that first one will hook up to your skid steer loaders. I'll show you that in a second. The second one, the DE551FL, it shows you the little jigsaw piece that says FZ30, FZ60. That's for front loaders. That will attach to front loader attachments. So if I come back out of this menu and I go to front loaders, the front loaders available, the stall ones are the FZ30 and the FZ60. We have also got the John Deere 643R. It will hook up to that as well. Basically the second one in there is designed to hook up to front loaders. So if you've got a tractor with a front loader, the middle one will hook up to those. The third one along, the DE551TL, that one, the jigsaw piece says 9407S, MLA-T and MLT. That one is designed to hook up to your telehandlers. And again, at the moment, at the time of recording, we have got the MLA-T and all the rest of those numbers. The Manitou, we've got the 9407S Massey Ferguson telehandler, and we've got the MLT with all the rest of the numbers. It will hook up to those. That third one is designed to hook up to telehandlers. So we've got skid steer loaders, front loader attachment, telehandlers. That's what the 3 different types are for. They are designed to take round bales of straw, obviously. Looking at the shape of them, you've got this kind of curved kind of design to it. That's designed to put the round bale into. These ones are obviously slightly larger, mainly because the vehicle that's designed to be used with. Now, here's the thing. When we hook up to them, one side will have an attachment, and when you get close enough to it, it will say, like that at the bottom, WARZEE bail spike. I'm trying to hook up to the WARZEE shredder, but that is integral to it. If I now click on that and it picks it up, top left hand corner, it shows me 2 attachments, not 1. That's because this comes with an integral bail spike. So if I now press my triangle button on the PlayStation controller and I now press detach with X, I have got a separate bail spike that comes with it. So it's actually very, very handy that it all comes kind of all together. You get your bail spike, you go off, you get your bail, you put it in, and then you attach it back up with your bail spike and you transport it around. Now these will go in much, much better the other way round. When you buy them or you make them and you unload them from things, they will often come like this, and this is not going to tip over now, is it, just to really annoy me. What I'm going to try to do is flip it on its side. Like so. I should have done that in the first place. Anyway, they will go into the bail collectors easier this way. They will go in the other way around. It doesn't matter too much aesthetically. If you want it to look right, I guess this is the best way for them to go in. It's just easier, they fit in easier, they roll in easier. These don't auto load, so you can't drive next to a bail and it will just pop in. You've got to put it in yourself. I don't know at some point whether someone will bring out a modded version that will auto load. That's always possible. So once I've got it to a point like so, I should be able to pull backwards and the bail sits in there perfectly. So what I do now is go back in, hook up my bail spike, and I can transport that wherever I need to go for shredding and blowing the straw. Now I'm going to put the menu on like so. So if I now press R1 on the PlayStation controller, it says tip side straw blower. If I press that, it says tip side unload. So you can unload it where it kind of just puts it in as it would do into a trough, or you put it on blower and it will blow it. I will demonstrate that in a minute. We're going to go over to the cows and we're going to have a look at that. So just to show you exactly what I meant, that's quite heavy on the front of there. You find the skid steer loader does get a little bit light on the rear wheels. So the next one then is the front loader one. But what I will show you as well is the fact that if you have made a mistake and you've picked up the wrong one, so this one here is my front loader one, if I've got these in the right order, which I should have done. And it comes up, WARZEE bail spike, attach. If I try to use the front loader one on the one that's for the telehandlers, that won't come up. He says that, there you go. So the thing is, if you've got the wrong one by mistake, and I do wonder, a few people have commented saying it won't hook up, I can't get it to work. That could be why. It could be you've picked up the wrong one, you've ordered the wrong one, and it won't hook up because of that very reason. It's the wrong type for the wrong piece of machinery. So you might need to check that just to be absolutely certain. So what I'll do is exactly the same thing. It hooks up to the spike. I can detach it in exactly the same way, get my bail spike free, and then stick my bail in sideways in, just to prove the point. It will go in. It's a bit unsightly. It doesn't really, you know, it shouldn't do, but it does. If I just pick up the bail like that, you watch now, it won't go in. Now what you can do when you get to this point, again, if you want to be, you know, precise with it, I can just put that down now, pull the forks away, and that will drop in, and it will sit in that way, and it really doesn't make any difference at all. That will still operate with it in like that. It just doesn't look as realistic. Now with these as well, it starts off with the bail spike on one side, but if you notice when we have a look at these, it starts off this side. On the other side of the WARZEE, you've also got a connecting point this side. You can actually attach those bail spikes once you've used them, once you've taken them out the first time. They will attach either side, so it depends on what side you're coming at your trough from. If you haven't got a lot of space or whatever you want to do, you can actually hook up the other side as well. so you can go either side from it, really doesn't matter. And obviously the Manitou will hook up in exactly the same way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over, I'm going to see you over at the cow pasture, and we're going to actually give it a go blowing some straw, and I'll show you how it works. I will see you over there momentarily. So here we are at the cows. We're at the point where we can put the straw in. Now, provided you've got the right one on the right machine, you've got your bale in and it's showing that the bale's in, bottom right hand corner down by the speedo, you can see it saying the bale's in there. I have just tried something out, I just want to make sure it worked. So as you go into the point now for putting the straw in, it will come up at the bottom with R1 and triangle to do straw. Now what I have done, if I press R1, I've put my tip side on unload on this one, just to show you the unload function rather than the blowing function. So if I do then R1 and triangle, that's the tip function. Now in real life, in the real world, it's kind of an unraveller, I suppose is the best way of looking at it. That bale would now be rotating, and it'd be rotating away, and it basically just unwraps that entire bale. So that's what that would be doing at this precise moment. That animation isn't on there at the moment, but that is the unload function rather than the blow function. So if you'd rather have something a little bit more sedate and calm and you don't want straw blowing all over the place, that's how you do it. Now when this gets to 0, this is either going to disappear or it's going to annoy me and it's going to stay there, but it will highlight a point if it stays there. Brilliant, it's gone. A lot of people, and I have encountered it myself, and it might just be with the blowing then rather than anything in particular with that, but unloading, that worked perfectly, the bale disappeared. But people have reported that the bale stays there. It's showing as 0 but the bale's still there. Now obviously with the John Deere, I did put the forks back in the other way around, so that's why I'm pointing this way around. So again, it depends which way you come at it. This one, the bale's not in the same way round, it's not in, I suppose, properly is the best way of putting it. This one I'm going to have on blowing, so as we come into the point, now that's interesting that it hasn't come up. Ah, there we go. Now that's something worth pointing out then, because I was on, if you look top left hand corner, the little white symbol is on my front loader forks. If I press it again, that's on the bale spike that goes with the WARZEE. If I put it on the next one, that's actually on the WARZEE bale shredder. So if you haven't got it on the right one, you might come onto the point and it won't give the option to unload. That could be another reason why people are saying it's not working. So if I now press R1 and triangle, that will now blow. I don't think you can adjust, all you can do, you can raise it up. Obviously that will give you a further, it will just throw it further. But that's it unloading. Now what I want to see is whether or not when it gets to the end this one disappears, because it could well be this is just for square bales. I have got on the telehandler, I've put a square bale in just to prove that it does work with square bales, because it might be you've done all square bales, you've gone to get this and suddenly thought, oh no, it only does round bales. It will work, it's just whether or not the bale stays afterwards. Bale's gone, that's good. So the last one to try then is going to be the telehandler, and it could well be then it's a square bale situation. If the square bale vanishes now, I haven't encountered a problem or a glitch, so it could just be, like I say, because there are bug fixes to come. If you're unlucky that you've just happened to have encountered one, what can I say, R1 and triangle, and away we go. They're cool, they're very nice mods. It's nice, I say mods, they're obviously in-game, but they are a cool addition. And normally I do my guide tos or how-tos or assistance videos to help people out with things they're stuck on. Guide to videos always started out for me when there were new mods came out. I would do a guide to the new mod rather than call it a mod review or a tutorial. I just happened to call mine a guide too. So whilst this isn't actually technically a mod, it's new in-game, but I thought I'd do a review because people have asked. So and there you have it, all the bales have gone square or round, so it didn't really matter at all. Now I can't demonstrate what I was going to demonstrate, but I was given some advice. if you do happen to have that situation where you're left with a bale and the bale is showing in the bottom right hand corner as 0, but the bale is still sitting there and you can't do anything with it, if you've got a feed wagon, any of the feed wagons, mixer wagons, doesn't matter, take the bale, drop it in there, it kind of shreds it automatically. It won't do anything because it's registering as 0, but the bale will disappear. That way you haven't got loads of 0 litre bales sitting around doing nothing. Just plop them in there and they will vanish. And that's it for the WARZEE bale shredder, unraveller, unloader, whatever you want to call it. 3 different types for 3 different types of machinery. It works exactly that way. You can unload or you can blow the straw however you want to. I hope you found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.